Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now November 11th of 2021, and ever since the very end of the Skywalker saga and The Mandalorian Season 2, a lot of fans have been very curious and skeptical, mind you, about the future of the Star Wars universe and whether or not Jon, Dave, George, Chapek are really going to handle everything moving ahead. I, however, do have a lot of faith that they're really going to nail it with this, of course, new universe. Everything ranging from the Kenobi series to Star Wars Ahsoka and all the other shows that are actually being worked on right now as we speak. A lot of things are being done to really bring Star Wars back on track. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter. If you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there at Mike01, I do post a couple of fun and entertaining things on there from time to time and interact with you guys further. So, what's really all the more exciting is that tomorrow on Disney Plus Day, I want you all to keep an eye out because that's going to be the very day that we're going to get a lot of Kenobi footage, a sizzle reel for Star Wars Andor, if you guys are actually looking forward to that show. We're going to be learning a little bit more about The Mandalorian Season 3, The Bad Batch Season 2, a brand new animated Star Wars series, and more to come at Star Wars Celebration next year. Not to mention the Book of Boba Fett, we're going to be learning more about that as well. So, the thing about all of this is that Celebration really is going to be the moment in which the roadmap of Star Wars is going to be complete up until 2024 and or 25. That's how long it's going to stretch for the first entire phase before they move on to a new one. Now, they're not necessarily copying Marvel where they're going to call it Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But they're treating it like in the form of phases, in which each phase is going to have a drastic set of new Star Wars TV shows. So far, we pretty much learned the majority of the first one. We got that major announcement some months ago, showing us all the TV shows and even some of the films in the works. Now, the thing about all of this is that given that George Lucas is working very close with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on the new Star Wars projects, such as both the Ahsoka series and even Kenobi series as a whole, with other TV shows that are about to be announced at Star Wars Celebration as well. Now, it's described, however, that recently George Lucas has been making significant changes to the Star Wars history, moving forward in order to add in some new Star Wars lore, and how it will impact the Skywalker saga in numerous ways. Now, it's described that for the Ahsoka series on Disney Plus, both Lucas and Filoni recently have been making some big tweaks in the script that is going to focus on the world between worlds and how they can use this mysterious realm to change specific key moments in the past of the Skywalker saga, and also even add new meaning to some of the scenes. Now, given that Ahsoka is set to travel to such a realm that allowed Ezra to prevent Ahsoka from getting killed by Darth Vader, now Lucas and Filoni are doing just that for multiple moments that will impact the Star Wars films, one of which is going to involve the death of Darth Vader. In the series, Lucas and Filoni are focusing on a specific key scene that is going to give fans a throwback to the original trilogy movies and other trilogies as well. Specifically Return of the Jedi in this scenario, where Ahsoka is planned to open a portal that will allow her to watch the moment of Vader dying / Anakin in Luke's arms, and that Ahsoka Tano is set to actually communicate with Anakin through the portal and using the Force to teach him on how to become a Force ghost after she learned of such a transition by meeting with other Force ghosts of the past that will be touched on in this series as well. Now, another key moment that Lucas and Filoni are going to use the portal to reset a moment in the Star Wars films is to actually have one of the Force Ghosts to speak to Luke Skywalker through the world between worlds. This is set to be Master Yoda, portrayed by Frank Oz, again for the Ahsoka series, that will communicate with Luke Skywalker to not strike down his father, or he will become just like Vader. Lucas and Filoni are said to be doing some remasters to these two big Return of the Jedi scenes, to be seen through portals where Ahsoka communicates with Anakin and Yoda communicates with Luke to teach the Skywalker lessons across space and time. These are not the only changes, however, that Favreau, of course, Filoni, and Lucas are planning, but rather ones that are actively being discussed as well. However, at the time, Filoni does not want to actually overdo it with these changes as well. they are actually set to be big changes for all three trilogies, and that so far, the originals are already receiving such changes in the Star Wars universe. Lucas is described to be very excited to work with the World Between Worlds in order to show what it will look like in live-action form, where Lucasfilm will be using revolutionary technology for this specific key scene as well. Now, here's the thing about all of this, alright? We already know that everything ranging from the Ahsoka series to Kenobi and another Star Wars TV show that's going to center on Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra Bridger are going to be very Force heavy. It's going to have a lot to do with the Force, and that, at the end of the day, I think is what a majority of fans like to see for a change now, right? After all, I mean, yes, it is nice to have the Mandalorian, it is very fun to have the Book of Boba Fett, but at the end of the day, right, fans really want more Jedi and Force material. We're talking about characters that are closely related to the Force and/or a Jedi. That's going to be the showcase of the series. Now, we're getting just that, thankfully, with Kenobi and Ahsoka. Those are going to be the two most anticipated Star Wars shows for both 2022 and 23. Now, I want to actually dive deeper into this World Between Worlds change-up by Filoni, Favreau, and Lucas. Now, this is something that I think some fans may actually like, and others may actually dislike. This is just a matter of time, right? People are going to actually probably have some issues with the fact that there are going to be some changes here and there to the Star Wars universe and exactly what it means. Now, I honestly think it's a great move. I think it's a very interesting way to kind of give us a real explanation as to how Anakin Skywalker learned to become a Force ghost. If you guys dive deep into Star Wars Legends and really know a lot about Legends, you will know that I believe it was in the original Return of the Jedi novelization. In there's actually a draft there that explains that Kenobi is the one that actually taught Anakin Skywalker to actually become one with the Force, and how he could actually show him the path to letting go and to focus on basically the light, essentially. And I think it's a very interesting way to go about doing that. I do believe that they should have kept it as Kenobi teaching Anakin, because it makes a little bit more sense to me. But after all, you know what? It kind of seems like everything comes full circle, right? Anakin was the master of Ahsoka. Now you have the Padawan of her former master teaching her former master on exactly how to fully redeem himself. I kind of like this. Now, when you look at everything related to what Filoni and Favreau, as well as Lucas, are planning, is that they're going to be using these portals, these gateways to entering a moment in time to alter, basically, moments of the past. Now, you guys may be questioning yourselves, why wouldn't they just do something drastic, like maybe Ahsoka pulling Darth Vader away from Palpatine, you know, basically destroying his suit after Vader sacrifices himself? Why couldn't Ahsoka Tano just take Vader out of that scenario? Well, it kind of contradicts its own thing, right? You have a moment where Luke is very vulnerable, you have a moment where Vader's very vulnerable still. So it's not really a scenario, I guess, technically speaking, where Ahsoka could just save Vader and/or Anakin. Now, at the end of the day, too, realistically speaking, they probably don't want to change something that drastic. Obviously, they don't want to make a major retcon like that. That's probably, obviously, the reality of everything here. But overall, I think that these major changes, such as Yoda's Force Ghost communicating with Luke in the throne room via the Force through the World Between Worlds, telling him to not strike down his father, I think that's fantastic. I think it's a very interesting move. Again, realistically speaking, the original reason as to why Luke did not strike down his father is because he realized that his hand was mechanical, and he looked at his father's severed hand and realized how closely he's resembling his father, or taking the steps to become the new Darth Vader in a sense. So if it weren't for his mechanical hand, in reality, Luke would have maybe turned to the dark side. It's very possible. But now they're kind of retconning that. They're making it that Yoda was communicating with Luke inside his head, telling him to examine that hand and to not strike down his father. That's exactly what they're trying to craft here. So I think it's a very interesting move by, Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni. Overall, Let me know what you guys think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to night.